of King Nimrod, sitting on a golden throne carved into a gigantic stone statue. The background shows burning skies, smoke, and a storm. A huge fly buzzes in the air with glowing eyes. His soldiers raise spears around him in worship. Text overlay, Nimrod, in blood-red cracked font, and I will defeat Allah, in glowing radioactive green font with lightning effect. Nimrod was born generations after the great flood of Noah, AS, and he was the great-grandson of Noah through Ham's line, and from the beginning, his story was not of humility, but of ambition. While the world was rebuilding and nations were forming, Nimrod's destiny was different. He wanted not only to rule, but to be worshipped. As Nimrod grew, he proved himself to be a fearless hunter and a cunning strategist. He united tribes under his command and built one of the first great kingdoms in history, Babylon. His people admired him for his strength and victories, but admiration soon turned into blind obedience. Nimrod realized he could use fear to control and control to dominate, but power was not enough for Nimrod. He wanted divinity. Standing atop his golden throne, he declared to his people, "I am your God. None is above me." Fearful and desperate for favor, the people bowed, and the worship of Nimrod began. For the first time in human history, a man demanded to replace the worship of the true God with himself. But what happens when arrogance meets truth? When a mortal man challenges the Creator himself? Stay with us, because the story of Nimrod is about to take a darker turn, one that would change history forever. As Babylon grew, so did Nimrod's cruelty. He taxed his people heavily, demanded endless labor, and crushed anyone who dared to question him. Fear spread through the land, but whispers of rebellion also began to rise. Nimrod, blinded by his hunger for power, believed no one could ever oppose him. Far away from the palace, a child named Ibrahim was born. From his earliest days, Ibrahim questioned the false idols his people worshipped. While others bowed to stone and wood, he searched for the truth beyond the stars, moon, and sun. His heart told him that only the unseen Creator ruled the universe. One day, Ibrahim boldly entered the temple of idols. With a heavy axe, he smashed the lifeless statues one by one, except the largest. He placed the axe on its shoulder and walked away. When people saw the destruction, Nimrod was furious. Ibrahim mocked them, saying, "Ask your great idol. If it is truly a god, let it speak." Nimrod summoned Ibrahim to his palace. In front of the entire court, he mocked, "Who is this god you speak of greater than me?" Ibrahim calmly replied, "My Lord is the one who gives life and death." Arrogantly, Nimrod ordered 2 prisoners forward. He killed one and spared the other. "See, I too give life and death," he boasted. But Ibrahim, fearless, answered, "My Lord brings the sun from the east. If you are a god, bring it from the west." The court fell silent. Nimrod, speechless, trembled with rage. The debate spread like fire across the land. For the first time, Nimrod's godhood was publicly shattered. His people began to doubt, but Nimrod's pride refused to break. Instead, he swore to crush Ibrahim and prove himself once again. When truth shines, arrogance burns. But Nimrod was not finished. If words could not defeat Ibrahim, he would turn to fire. A fire so massive it would shake the earth itself. Humiliated by Ibrahim's words, Nimrod swore revenge. He ordered his men to build the largest fire mankind had ever seen. For weeks, soldiers and slaves gathered wood. The flames roared so high that even birds in the sky fell dead from the heat. People said the fire was like a second sun, consuming everything in sight. When the fire was ready, Nimrod's soldiers tied Ibrahim with ropes. The heat was so intense that no one could go near the flames. So Nimrod commanded a giant catapult to be built. In front of thousands, Ibrahim was placed upon it. With a signal, they launched him straight into the blazing inferno. But as Ibrahim fell into the fire, something miraculous happened. Allah commanded, "O fire, be coolness and peace upon Ibrahim." Instantly the flames obeyed. The raging inferno turned into a garden of peace. Flowers bloomed, birds sang, and Ibrahim stood unharmed, glowing with divine protection. The crowd gasped in disbelief. The fire that could melt iron had failed to harm Ibrahim. Mothers wept, elders trembled, and whispers spread like wildfire. This man is truly protected by the one true God. Nimrod, watching from his golden throne, felt his heart shake. For the first time, fear crept into his soul. Nimrod tried to hide his fear with anger. He shouted, calling it sorcery and demanding obedience. But the people had seen with their own eyes. His power was nothing compared to Ibrahim's God. Doubt spread through the empire, and Nimrod's godhood began to crack like fragile glass. A king who claimed to control fire, defeated by the command of the true creator. But Nimrod's pride was not yet broken. His downfall would come in the most unexpected way, from a creature smaller than his fingertip. Even after witnessing Ibrahim's miracle, Nimrod refused to humble himself. His pride was like iron. He told his people, "If Ibrahim's God rules the heavens, then I will rule the earth." He expanded his palaces, demanded greater worship, and punished anyone who dared whisper the name of Ibrahim's God. One night, Nimrod looked at the stars and declared, "I give life and I take life. I am the true God of this land." But deep down his heart trembled with doubt. He ordered more sacrifices, more statues, and more gods, trying to silence the fear inside. And then came the soldier Nimrod never expected. Not an army, not a storm, not a sword, but a tiny mosquito. One night, as Nimrod slept in his chamber, a mosquito slipped through the curtains and into his nose. It crawled deep inside, lodging itself in his head. From that moment, Nimrod knew no peace. The insect tormented him day and night, buzzing inside his skull, causing unbearable pain. His screams echoed through the palace. He commanded the greatest doctors and magicians to remove it, but no one could help. Desperate for relief, Nimrod discovered one strange cure. When his servants struck his head with sandals and hammers, the vibration calmed the insect for a while. And so, the king who once ruled like a god now begged his slaves to beat him just to find a moment's peace. Word spread across the empire. The God King is being beaten by his own servants. The people who once bowed to him now laughed in secret. His army lost faith. His priests abandoned him. Nimrod's empire began to crumble, not by war, but by ridicule. After years of torment, the mosquito finally killed Nimrod. The once mighty ruler who built towers to the heavens and claimed to be a god was destroyed by one of the smallest creatures on earth. His story became a lesson whispered through generations. No power can stand against the will of the Almighty. Nimrod believed he was greater than God, but a single mosquito proved him wrong. His empire vanished into dust, but his story lives on as a warning. Arrogance leads only to downfall. If you want more untold stories of kings, prophets, and legends, make sure to subscribe and join us on this journey through history.